2,000 rideshare drivers across 12 major cities. All passed background checks. All maintained 5-star ratings. Every passenger delivered safely. Every trip completed professionally. Platform algorithms praised their performance, but GPS data showed they made stops between rides that lasted exactly 90 seconds. Always in industrial areas. Always between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Always at locations with no residential addresses. The stops didn't match any legitimate rideshare activity, and when FBI analyzed 3 years of GPS patterns, they found a transportation network hiding inside America's most popular ride platforms. The pattern emerged from a data anomaly. January 2024, Uber's fraud detection team noticed unusual activity in Phoenix. Specific drivers showed perfect metrics: high acceptance rates, fast pickup times, excellent customer satisfaction, but their revenue per hour was 40% below market average. That made no sense. High-performing drivers earned more. Better ratings meant more ride requests. More requests meant higher earnings. These drivers had perfect performance but lower income. The algorithm flagged it as potential account sharing or fraud. Someone else might be driving under their credentials. But investigation showed the drivers were legitimate. Same person, same vehicle, same performance. The earnings gap came from something else: fewer total rides. The drivers showed active on the platform for 8 to 10 hours nightly, but completed only 12 to 15 rides. Average drivers completed 25 to 30 rides in the same time window. What were they doing during the gaps? Uber's security team pulled GPS data. Between legitimate rides, these drivers made brief stops. Industrial zones, commercial areas, late-night locations where no passengers would request pickup. Stop duration, 60 to 90 seconds. Then the driver would continue, accept another legitimate ride, complete it professionally, then another mysterious stop. The pattern appeared across 47 drivers in Phoenix alone. Uber's team contacted FBI. The activity suggested something beyond platform fraud. The stops were too consistent, too deliberately timed. This looked like organized logistics masquerading as rideshare work. Special Agent Michael Torres took the case. The allegations seemed plausible. Rideshare platforms provided perfect cover for moving small packages. Drivers were everywhere. Vehicles looked normal. Nobody questioned a Prius with an Uber sticker, and GPS tracking was expected. Drivers needed navigation. Their movements blended into millions of legitimate trips daily. Torres expanded analysis. Requested data from Lyft. Same pattern. Different drivers. Same stop behavior. Between rides. Industrial locations. 90-second duration. The network crossed platforms. That suggested coordination beyond individual initiative. This was organized operation using rideshare infrastructure. FBI cross-referenced drivers showing the pattern. Financial analysis revealed connection. All drivers had received payments from shell companies registered in the same offshore accounts. Amounts ranged from $2,000 to $3,000 monthly, described as bonuses or promotional payments. But Uber and Lyft had no such promotion. The money came from external sources. Torres recognized the payment pattern. Cartel courier networks typically paid $2,000 to $3,000 weekly for transport services. The amounts matched. The behavior matched. The drivers weren't just doing rideshare. They were being paid to transport drugs between rides, use legitimate platform work as cover, make pickups and deliveries during gaps. Platform GPS data provided perfect alibi. I was working, check my ride history. But the ride history also exposed the operation. The stops between rides were documented. Time stamped, GPS located. The drivers didn't realize platform tracking was comprehensive. They thought gaps between rides were invisible. They were wrong. If you believe using rideshare platforms for drug trafficking deserves federal charges, type accountability below. FBI deployed surveillance. Teams monitored 20 drivers across Phoenix. Watched their patterns. One driver, Marcus Williams, accepted a ride request at 2:47 a.m., picked up passenger at downtown bar, dropped at residential address in Scottsdale. Trip completed. Williams received 5-star rating. Then Williams drove to industrial zone. No new ride request. He stopped behind a warehouse. 90 seconds. Another vehicle approached. Windows down. Brief exchange. Williams received a small package. placed it in his trunk. The other vehicle departed. Williams drove away. 3 minutes later, he accepted another ride request. Picked up passenger at 24-hour diner. Completed trip normally. Later that night, Williams stopped at another location. Retrieved package from trunk. Handed it to someone at a loading dock. 90 seconds. Drove away. Continued rideshare work. By 6 a.m., Williams had completed 14 legitimate rides and 6 package exchanges. His earnings from Uber, $120. His earnings from package transport, estimated $500. The economics explained everything. Rideshare base pay was modest. Drivers needed volume to earn decent income, but transporting packages paid better. $500 extra per shift, $3,000 weekly. Drivers could work fewer hours and earn more. The rideshare rides provided cover and legitimate income documentation. The package transport provided real earnings. Torres expanded investigation nationwide. Requested GPS data from rideshare platforms in 12 major cities: Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Denver, Dallas, Houston, Chicago, Atlanta, Miami, Philadelphia, New York. Analysis revealed 2,000 drivers showing the pattern. Stop behavior. Industrial locations. 90-second duration. Payment from shell companies. 2,000 drivers. Operating in 12 cities. 3 years. The scale was massive. This wasn't isolated courier activity. This was industrial logistics using rideshare infrastructure as camouflage. The cartel had built a transportation network inside Uber and Lyft. The platforms provided legitimacy. The drivers provided delivery. The system moved drugs with corporate efficiency. FBI needed to prove cargo. Surveillance showed behavior. GPS showed patterns. But without confirming drugs, prosecution faced challenges. Defense could argue drivers were delivering legitimate goods. Food delivery, Amazon, Flex. Gig economy workers often juggle multiple platforms. The charges needed physical evidence. Undercover operation began. FBI placed agent as package recipient. Posed as low-level distributor. Contacted one of the drivers through encrypted messaging. Requested pickup and delivery. Driver agreed. Price, $500. Package size, small. No questions asked. The exchange occurred as surveilled. Agent provided package at first location. Driver retrieved it. 90 seconds. Drove away. Continued rideshare work for 2 hours. Then stopped at delivery location. Agent received package. Confirmed contents. 5 kilograms of cocaine. The package transport wasn't legitimate goods. Was narcotics distribution. The drivers were drug couriers using rideshare as cover. FBI replicated undercover buys with 15 different drivers. All transported drugs. All used rideshare work as camouflage. The pattern was consistent. These weren't isolated incidents. This was systematic operation. Organized courier network. Coordinated across cities. Managed through encrypted communication. Paid through offshore accounts. Torres coordinated with DEA and local police in all 12 cities. The takedown required simultaneous action. 2,000 drivers. Scattered across metropolitan areas. Hitting one location would warn others. Drivers would disappear. Delete apps. Destroy evidence. The operation needed total coordination. Planning took 4 months. Identifying every driver. Tracking current locations. Timing had to be perfect. Strike during peak courier activity. Late night. When drivers were active. When evidence was in vehicles. When pickup and delivery patterns were clear. Strike date, October 17, 2024. Thursday night, 2:30 a.m. Peak time for package transport based on GPS analysis. Federal agents and local police deployed. Each driver assigned a surveillance team. When drivers made their 90-second stops, teams would move. Intercept, search vehicles, arrest of drugs found. At 2:30 a.m., interceptions began. Across 12 cities, drivers stopped during package exchanges. Federal agents, police, search warrants for vehicles. The stops were synchronized within 20-minute window, coordinated across time zones. Every target hit before warnings could spread. Searches revealed extensive evidence. Drugs in trunks, drugs under seats, drugs and door panels. Amounts varied. Some drivers carried small quantities. Individual deliveries, others had multiple packages, serving multiple drops per shift. Total seizure, 400 kilograms. Cocaine, fentanyl, methamphetamine. Street value, approximately $40 million. Arrests totaled 1,847. Not all 2,000 drivers were active that night. Some were off duty, some had quit, some were already under separate investigation, but 1,847 were intercepted and charged. Phones were seized. Encrypted messaging apps analyzed. Communication records provided evidence of coordination. Marcus Williams was among those arrested, found with 3 kilograms in his trunk. During interrogation, he explained his situation. Single father, 2 kids. Rideshare income wasn't enough. Rent in Phoenix was expensive. He needed extra money. Someone approached him at a gas station, offered $500 per shift for package delivery. No details, no questions. Just drive and deliver. The money solved his problems. Williams knew it was probably drugs, but he rationalized it. He wasn't selling, wasn't manufacturing, just transport. Wasn't hurting anyone directly. The cognitive dissonance allowed him to participate, until arrest made the consequences real. Federal charges, conspiracy to distribute. He faced 25 years. His children would grow up without him. The $500 per shift had cost everything. His story was common among arrested drivers. Financial pressure, easy money, rationalization. Most drivers weren't hardened criminals. Were ordinary people in difficult situations. Made bad choices. The cartel recruited vulnerability. Offered solutions. The money was real. The risks seemed abstract, until they weren't. Federal prosecutors filed charges. All 1,847 drivers faced conspiracy to distribute, possession with intent, using vehicles in drug trafficking. Sentences ranged from 15 to 30 years depending on quantity and cooperation level. Some drivers negotiated plea deals, testimony against coordinators, reduced sentences. Others fought charges, received full penalties. Rideshare platforms were shocked. Uber and Lyft cooperated fully with investigation, provided data, testimony, support for prosecution. But their reputations were damaged. How did 2,000 drivers use their platforms for trafficking? What were the security failures? What could have been detected earlier? Platform reforms followed. Enhanced background checks, GPS anomaly detection, machine learning algorithms to identify suspicious stop patterns, mandatory verification for drivers showing unusual earning patterns. The changes aimed to prevent future infiltration, but implementation would take time, and criminals adapt. New methods, new patterns, new disguises. Asset forfeiture totaled $200 million. Vehicles, cash, property, bank accounts, everything connected to the courier network. Many drivers lost their cars. Were their personal vehicles used for both legitimate work and trafficking? The vehicles were evidence, were seized. Many drivers faced financial ruin beyond prison sentences. Lost income, lost transportation, lost freedom. The human cost extended beyond drivers. The 400 kilograms seized represented supply destined for streets, but the network had operated 3 years. How much product had already been delivered? FBI estimated based on stop frequency and average package size. Approximately 180,000 deliveries over 3 years. Average package, 2 kilograms. Total, 360 tons. That quantity killed tens of thousands. Fentanyl is lethal in milligrams. 360 tons is massive overdose potential. The drivers facilitated distribution. Were direct link between supply and users. Their rationalization of just transport ignored the deaths downstream. Each package delivered represented potential overdoses. The harm was real. The consequences were fatal. Investigation revealed cartel recruitment strategy. Target rideshare drivers specifically. They're already moving around cities, already using GPS, already accustomed to independent work. Perfect courier profile. Approach them during slow periods. At gas stations, parking lots. Offer easy money. Brief conversations. Simple proposition, no pressure. Let them choose. Many needed money, many said yes. The recruitment was systematic. Cartel operatives monitored rideshare parking areas, identified drivers with older vehicles, assumed financial need, targeted single parents, immigrants, people with visible economic struggle, offered lifeline. The money was immediate. The risks felt distant. The choice seemed simple, until arrest revealed the consequences were permanent. Federal analysis examined rideshare driver patterns nationwide, looking for similar anomalies. Suspicious stops, industrial locations, 90-second durations, GPS data from platforms in 20 additional cities under review. Early indicators suggest similar networks exist. Smaller scale, but similar structure. The investigations continue. This case proved that criminals exploit gig economy infrastructure. Rideshare platforms created millions of independent drivers moving constantly through cities. Perfect courier network waiting to be infiltrated. Cartels recognized opportunity, recruited systematically, built logistics inside legitimate platforms. The strategy worked because it hid in plain sight. Uber stickers and Lyft signs provided camouflage. Subscribe for investigations exposing hidden criminal networks. Share if you believe platform companies need enhanced security, like if gig worker exploitation demands accountability. This scheme worked too well, which means similar networks likely exist. How many other rideshare drivers are making 90-second stops between your rides? How many vehicles with platform stickers are transporting more than passengers? Stay vigilant.